If you live anywhere near these 10 places, you're going to feel it first. Because when a crisis turns ugly, recession, fuel shock, supply disruption, whatever it is, it doesn't hit the UK evenly. It hits the weak points first. And in this video, I'm ranking 10 real UK cities and towns that are structurally more exposed. And I'll give you one practical move for each place so you can protect your household before things get loud. Welcome back to Charlie Survival. Today is not doom, it's not looked down on anywhere, it's real world preparedness where strange shows up first and what you do about it. Quick one, comment where you're watching from, just your county or the nearest big town, and tell me, do you have one income or more than one? And if you're new here, subscribe, because this channel is about staying calm, staying practical and getting ahead of the UK's reality. For each place, I'll give you the specific weakness and then the one move a normal person can actually do, how this list works. This ranking is based on patterns you can actually see in official government deprivation figures, council financial pressure and local single point of failure risks. I'm not saying these places are bad, I'm saying they're more exposed. Same way a house on a cliff is more exposed to wind. Beautiful house, but you better reinforce it. Alright, countdown time. 10. Oldham. Vulnerability, close to opportunity but not plugged into it. Oldham is one of those places where people can literally see prosperity nearby, but that doesn't mean they're protected by it. When household budgets are tight, even a small shock, energy bills up, rent up, hours cut, becomes a domino run. The practical move. If a household is running on one fragile pillar, one wage, one contract, one client, make a second pillar now. Not a fantasy business, a small second stream, weekend work, a trade skill, eBay flipping, editing, gigs, anything reliable. Because the first thing that collapses in a downturn isn't society, it's household cash flow. And number 9 is the same problem, but with an industrial twist that can wipe out a whole local economy fast. 9. Grimsby. Vulnerability. Single industrial gravity, ports, processing, big employers. Grimsby's risk pattern is simple. When a town's economy leans heavily on a small number of big engines, port work, processing, logistics, one or two major employers, any national shock becomes a local emergency. The practical move. Do a risk map of your area in 10 minutes. Ask yourself, if the biggest employer paused, downsized or stopped, what happens? If the answer is half the town suffers, treat it like a loaded gun aimed at your household finances, so your move is to reduce dependency. Build an emergency buffer of 3 months of bare minimum costs, even if it's £10 a week. And make sure you can survive a sudden income gap without instant panic. Number 8 is brutal because it's not theatrical, it's what happens when a big employer pulls a plug and the town can't absorb it. Quick one, if you want the exact gear I recommend for UK reality, lighting, backup power, water, weather kits, I've got my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list linked in the description. It's just there so you don't have to guess. And right after that, grab my free blackout checklist, link in the pinned comment, print it, stick it somewhere obvious, and you've already done more than most people. 8. Burnley. Vulnerability, employment shock plus low slack in the system. Burnley is a perfect example of why job shocks hit harder in places with less slack. When a big local employer changes direction, it's not just the jobs, it's the corner shops, the rent areas, the streets, the knock-on. The practical move. Build one panic-proof month. 1 month when you can cover rent, mortgage, food, utilities, transport without income. That's one buffer turns a job shock from life collapse into we pivot. And the best way to build it isn't miracles, it's a rule. Every payday puts something aside before it disappears, even £20. Number 7 is where this turns into a community draft problem, the kind that doesn't make headlines but quietly drains a place year after year. 7. Hartlepool. Vulnerability, long-term decline plus high inactivity plus service strain. Hartlepool represents a slower kind of crisis, long-term decline, fewer opportunities and services already stretched. In places like this, the danger isn't one dramatic event, it's the system getting thinner until something small snaps it. The practical move, build a micro network. 2 people you can rely on locally and 2 people you can help. That's not sentimental, it's logistics. In a UK disruption, community links beat lone wolf prepping every time. Also keep your household contact ready. Numbers written down, key info saved offline, and meet points if phones go down. Now, number 6 is where the crisis becomes physical, not just money, heat. 6. Stoke-on-Trent. Vulnerability, fuel poverty pressure. Heat equals health equals money equals services. Stoke is an example of UK reality people underestimate. When a lot of households struggle to heat their homes, winter becomes a multiplier. Health gets worse, time off work rises, stress rises, and services get hammered. The practical move: stop thinking warmth means expensive heating. Think warmth system, draft proofing, a warm room plan, one room you can heat efficiently, layers plus sleeping setup that works, and a low power lighting plan so you're not burning phone battery for torches. This is how you stay stable when the energy situation turns. 5. Kingston upon Hull. Vulnerability, lower buffer households plus higher than average hardship concentration. Hull is a place where lots of people live close to the line. That's not a moral judgment, it's a structural reality. And if you're living close to the line, a crisis doesn't arrive politely. It arrives as the car breaks, the boiler fails, hours get cut, prices jump. The practical move: cover the boring basics so you don't spiral. Water sorted, light sorted, cash in the house, and a no car week plan in case fuel spikes or the car dies. Because most UK crises start boring, preparedness is staying functional through boring disruption. Alright, top 4. This is where it gets serious because now we're talking councils, single employers, and places already under heavy strain. 4. Sunderland. Vulnerability, single employer dependence. If the anchor wobbles, everything wobbles. Sunderland is a classic single employer risk pattern. When a region leans hard on one industrial anchor, the whole place can feel stable until corporate decisions made elsewhere land locally. The practical move: if your household income is tied to one major employer or one industry, you build redundancy like it's a seatbelt. Keep your CV ready, keep one skill current that transfers, keep transport options flexible, and build that 1 month buffer we talked about earlier, because when the anchor wobbles, you don't want your household wobbling with it. Number 3 is different. It's not one employer, it's the local system itself being under strain. 3. Bradford. Vulnerability, council strain plus high household pressure. Bradford is one of those places where the pressure shows up in the fabric. Services, high streets, household stress. When councils are under serious financial strain, you see small changes that add up. Fewer services, longer waits, less resilience. The practical move: plan your no help week. If services are slow, if support is delayed, if you can't get through, if the school routine changes, what do you do for 7 days? Write down who does pickups. What happens if you can't travel? What your power and charging plan is. That's no longer paranoia, that's adulting in 2026 Britain. 2. Middlesbrough. Vulnerability, high deprivation concentration plus council pressure equals low spare capacity. Middlesbrough is one of the cleanest examples of low spare capacity, where hardship is concentrated and the local system is stretched. A crisis hits earlier because there's less buffer everywhere. The practical move: make your household admin proof for disruption. Documents backed up, emergency numbers written down, a basic power bank set up, a plan for caring, responsibilities, meds, school runs, and a 24-hour cash plan if payments go weird. Because when the system is strained, the smallest disruption becomes a full day lost unless you're ready. 1. Blackpool. Vulnerability, extreme deprivation, concentration plus fragile seasonal economy patterns. Blackpool is famous, and it's also one of the most exposed places when you look at official government deprivation data. That doesn't mean people there are weak, it means the structure is harsh, concentrated hardship, fragile income patterns, and less margin for error. The practical move: if your income depends on seasonal work, tourism, hospitality, anything that swings, start building a second income stream now, even if it's small. Because one bad season, one downturn, one crisis that reduces travel and spending can wipe out months of stability. And the second move is simple: your household needs that 72-hour basic buffer at minimum: water, food, light, warmth, so short disruptions don't become emergencies. That is what preparedness is, turning shocks into inconveniences. So here's the real point: you definitely don't have to live in one of these places to be vulnerable, and you don't have to live in a wealthy area to be safe. Safety is household resilience. Buffer plus redundancy plus a plan you can actually follow when you're tired, stressed, and it's raining sideways. If you found this useful, smash the like button and subscribe for more preparedness and survival UK content just like this. If you want the exact gear I recommend for UK reality, check out my Charlie Survival Amazon kit list in the description. And grab the free blackout checklist in the pinned comment. Print it and you've got a calm, step-by-step plan for the first 72 hours. And watch this next, the 10 most bulletproof 4x4s by price, because knowing where the pressure hits first is useful, but being able to keep mobile keeps you calm. Click it and I'll see you over there.